Dylan Mulvaney now claims healed after Bud Light scandal. I'm 1,000 times stronger now. Y'all remember Dylan Mulvaney? Do you remember Dylan Mulvaney? That whole entire series where he documented his transition to female. What was it? 1,000 days or 100 days of girlhood or womanhood, whatever it was called. Everything happens for a reason, Dylan Mulvaney believes, but I'm still waiting to figure out what the reason was for that one. She tells people in this week's issue, referring to the inescapable hate she faced online in 2023. Within the pages of her book, Paper Doll, Notes from a Late Bloomer. Oh, that's what this is about. This is you utilizing newspapers and magazines and mainstream media and their social media websites to promote a book. Okay, first it was this series, then it was wanting to be an actor, then it was wanting to be a singer and dancer, then it was wanting to do commercials for Bud Light. Now it's a book. Out Tuesday, March 11th. Oh, okay, that's in 9 days. So that explains why I'm even reading this. Mulvaney, 28, reflects on the infamous Bud Light controversy, dubbing it Beergate, and never mentioning the brand by name. At the time, the San Diego-born theater actress, who gained millions of followers via her 100 Days of Girlhood videos documenting her transition from male to female on TikTok, struck a deal to make a sponsored video for Bud Light. The partnership provoked the ire of conservatives. Oh no, it wasn't just conservatives, by the way, because I was alive and I was there in real time and I was witnessing that, who called for a boycott amid a transphobic backlash. I don't think it so much had to do with that as it had to do with the actual video itself. Mulvaney felt abandoned and alone in the aftermath, facing threats, stalking, and thoughts of harming herself. Well, see, that's the thing. When you try to become famous and you do whatever it takes to try to make yourself famous, and then all of a sudden something goes bad, and then the people, the society, the real people that are out there on the internet that have all of these accounts, that's society. Those are real people. Those real people speak and they say what they are accepting of and what they are not accepting of. They say their opinion, their thoughts, their expressions, and their feelings, which they are allowed to by our very Constitution. The thing is that people don't have to be receptive to the bullshit that we are being fed by mainstream media anymore. Has always been the beauty of social media and the internet since 1998, when even people like me had it in our house. Middle class and low class families had computers then. We had AOL, we had MySpace be invented, and Vine and YouTube, and all of these things come out in the early aughts. Yeah, the internet and social media is not a new thing. So that's the great power of the internet, is that people can collectively say their opinions, their thoughts, their feelings, and people just were not receptive to that commercial. And it wasn't even a commercial. It was a self-done video from a cell phone for a sponsorship with Bud Light. And people just happen to not be accepting of it. They just happen to not be receptive to it. For whatever the reason, I don't know. You'd have to go back and look at all the posts about it and see what people actually have to say. But to sit there and to say that all these people abandoned me and they left me alone in that. Well, you're the one who decided to do the sponsorship. You know, it's not like some agent forced you to do it. Society did not force you to do it. And the fact that you never took the opportunity to actually address it, the fact that Bud Light refused to appropriately handle that and actually address it, I think that was the bigger issue, even more so than just the little video Dylan did in the very beginning of it. But here it says 2 years later, I'm about 1,000 times stronger than I was before this situation happened. Mulvaney says, I'm finally in a place that I have healed, and I am in such a good mental headspace. Good. You should be. Everybody should be. I feel like I'm really ready for the world to know what that experience was like behind the scenes. Then why didn't you address that at the time? Why didn't you put that out at the time? No, I know. It's because you're selling a book and you want people to think that you are this victim turned victor. So go buy my book to find out how I became so strong and how I became victim turned victor of my own story, when really it was you who took the sponsorship to begin with. So, hey, it just is what it is. But to find out behind the scenes, you're going to have to go purchase the book. See, this is all marketing and advertising strategy. And these public figures and self-proclaimed celebrities that are infamous for good or bad reasons, famous for good or bad reasons, this is what they do. This is how they play society. This is how they psychologically get you interested. So you go and you purchase this book that's going to later become at the dollar store clearance bin, or it's just going to become a coaster for your coffee on your coffee table. And then after that, it's just going to be thrown away when you do some deep spring cleaning. But I digress. The book, she adds, illustrates that no matter who you are, what your identity is, if you're in a tough situation, there is a light at the end of the tunnel eventually. So, okay, you're making this about identity and orientation. When really, if you want to sell a really good book, you need to make it not about that. A lot of people were not receptive to Dylan because it was the whole playing a woman as a caricature. And a lot of people thought because he was trying to break through with acting, because he was a theater kid, because he wasn't successful in becoming an actor, that all of the series, 100 Day of Girlhood, was nothing but him playing satire, him playing that of a 6-year-old little girl, him wearing these doll dresses that a 6-year-old would wear, him wearing pink and white and doing his hair in ponytails and pigtails like a 6-year-old child. Now, see, most women were not even receptive to that because it's like, hey, I'm a woman, I'm a female. I don't dress like that. I don't dress in baby doll dresses every day and wear high heels and put my hair in pigtails. And I don't wear all pink all the time. And I don't have this stereotype, living out a stereotype of what you think feminine or femininity is. And unfortunately, like the ancient Egyptians knew, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. Feminine and masculine is something that resides in every being. But the fact that you're selling a book by trying to shove it down our throats about no matter what your identity is, well, if that's the case, then don't make it about identity and orientation. Don't even say it at all. In fact, you should be very neutral on that stance if you want to relate to both men, women, right? Or people that are trans. Because really, if you are a trans individual, you are limiting your audience to the very, very, very small percentage of trans individuals. Which I could probably say, like most people would say, nobody has a problem with that. It's when you're trying to really force things on people that they don't like, that they're not going to be receptive to. So I think that was like the big problem here. I don't know, because I remember this happening in real time. All I know is that Dylan Mulvaney is now capitalizing and monetizing on that whole experience again. And that's not to belittle or diminish what he or she may have really went through, okay? I'm just saying that very clearly taking the situation and trying to make money off of it. And they're only doing that by selling you a narrative that they think you want to buy and read. Mulvaney admits she's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm a big personality. I'm a little musical theater cringy, but that's not for everyone. But she's still sipping on beer, which she says she'll always love. Oh, here's the jab. I really hope we get to see beer brands in the future be inclusive and find unique and interesting ways to include others in the conversation. That's what it's about. Right there.